Hello, Internet! Gino, that Pinguino Greco here again with another episode of Deep Listens. And today we are having yet another very special episode because today we will be discussing Kingdom Hearts 3, the third Kingdom Hearts game. And we will be trudging through it because one of our co-hosts, M. Heartless Palladino, was troubled.
There's so much to talk about. And we're going to keep talking about it because we have a Chain of Memories podcast in about, 2 weeks now?
About 2 weeks.
Yeah.
About a week from when you hear this.
You've damned me to Kingdom Hearts hell for
this is just
far longer.
This is just the slow creeping influence of Final Fantasy just taking over the whole podcast, right? Like you sneak Kingdom Hearts in as a Final Fantasy Trojan horse.
Well, I mean, the Kingdom Hearts, I picked Chain of Memories because I needed a mobile game. But it didn't have to be that, I guess. It didn't have to. I just had to know because I haven't played that game and it's a card game.
Yeah.
Man, it's so many weird things. But that other voice you hear is Pete Nobody Busby.
What's going on, everybody? If I were going to be a nobody, I think I'd probably want to be Axel. He's pretty legit.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going on, everybody? I'm excited to talk about Kingdom Hearts, one of my favorite video game commercials from the early 2000s. This week's fun fact, it's about teeth and mice.
Good start.
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't usually like to poke fun at ancient history because, they were trying their best. They just didn't know. But this one's pretty interesting. So the ancient Egyptians, when they had like a toothache, they believed that one of the best cures was a dead mouse.
Mm.
So what they would do was they'd catch and kill the mouse, and then they would apply it to their teeth to heal the toothache. But the key was the mouth still had to be warm when it was applied to the teeth.
Ew.
I know. Super gross.
A fresh kill and they just rubbed it?
Yeah. Basically, that's what it sounds like. Apparently, it harnessed the power of the sun.
Dope.
Yeah.
And that is how, little known fact, that's how Walt Disney was inspired for Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He had a toothache, and then
Egyptian skull.
he slit the throat of a rat, applied it to his teeth, and went, what a jaunty little fellow this was.
Mm.
I'm going to make millions off of this for 100 years.
Yeah. Long after his death.
His
Still
zombie,
making money.
his zombie frozen head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we do not have any emails for this show because why would anyone email us about this? So if you want to get in touch with the show, you can do so at DeepListensPod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We've got comment sections and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. So, M, you're going to be our guide here because you were so disquieted by Kingdom Hearts 3 that you felt we needed an emergency podcast. And I, at first, I thought we'd have a fun podcast. Then our friends at Waypoint Radio, they started an entire podcast series trying to deconstruct the lore of Kingdom Hearts, starting from the first thing in lore chronology and working their way forward. And I think they've approached 10 hours of podcasts at this point, and they're up to Kingdom Hearts 2.
Sounds about right. They go deep. I've been listening to that. They go, real granular.
Yeah. So we're not doing that because they're doing that, and we don't need to do it also.
Yeah, and we're just not doing that. We don't need another reason to not do that.
Yes. So, explain what is disquieting you? What has upset you?
So, I would like to preface this with, I really like, or I do like Kingdom Hearts. I'm not gonna say I don't like it because of this one. I have the nobody symbol on my shoulder, I'm in deep.
Oh yeah, I never noticed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a nobody tattoo. Okay.
That's a good pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it means it has some significance to me. And Kingdom Hearts 3 is just a lot. It's all over the place. I don't even know where to start with this one. I tried to make a brief summary of the plot up until now, and I thought I could get it into like 5 minutes of audio, and then I gradually expanded it to 10, and then half an hour, and then I gave up when I got to Kingdom Hearts 2.
You could spend 5 minutes
Mhm.
and not achieve anything, just trying to explain to me all the different characters whose names start with X's.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, they're all the same one.
Yep.
Well, why don't we start with a very important question then?
Yes.
Just some guidance. What is your nobody name?
Oh, well, considering my
Pete,
name is EM, gotta slip an X in there somewhere.
Zem?
Zem. The only other options are Mex, which might be a little
Odd. Yeah.
questionable. So Zem it is.
Pete, do you know the naming convention?
I don't.
So it's an anagram of your name with an X in it. That's it.
Okay, let me see. I found an Organization 13 name generator.
Awesome.
Let's see what this...
Good.
Oh, man, there are a lot more questions than I expected. I will get back to you in a sec.
Yeah, I think mine would probably be Noxig.
Mm.
It's either
So-
Noxig or Gixon.
Mm. Good
Both.
choices.
Both are good.
There are so many questions on this generator. Now I'm just picking things at random. You know what? Forget it. I'm out on this one. It would be Resetip.
That's a good one.
Mm.
Yeah. That'd be a good one. Resetip.
Get those consonants touching.
Exactly. that
Put
could
them right
TP
up
to
next
finish.
to each other.
Okay, so now that we've gotten this out of the way and we've established that this series is great. So, just from watching Kingdom Hearts 3, I've seen a little bit of coverage. It seems like they decided that more was the answer to any
Yeah.
question you asked. Should we have summons? Yes. Should we have magic? Yes. Should we be able to run up walls? Of course. Should we have multiple like special attacks that you perform with Donald, Goofy, side characters, your summons? Should there be like mini games within the combat? Just yes to everything. No one ever said no. Is that
Even
true?
Even story-wise, it seems like they took that approach. Like, to me, it reminds me of the Similarian, that, like, Tolkien was just like, all right, I'm going to answer every single question, but none of the questions that you have.
Yeah.
Here's the origin of Elvish.
Yeah. Like,
They answered a lot of questions that it wasn't even on my radar.
yeah, just all the answers, but no clarification.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So, should we start at the very beginning?
Sure.
Work our way
I
there.
guess. Yeah, why not?
So, Kingdom Hearts 3 starts off. Hold on, let me bring up the wiki because it's going to be easier to
We've already made a
trying to
mistake.
recall.
Yeah, I was looking through it. It's not that much easier.
No, it is not. Okay, so what you need to know in order to get to this point, I'm going to try my best to summarize this. There's a dude. His name is Master Xehanort. He is a Keyblade master, and his goal has been to control Kingdom Hearts. He wants to remake the world, all worlds, in perfect balance of light and dark. And in order to do so, he needs a thing called the Keyblade. And
Do you know about this?
Yeah, I'm on board so far.
I know, but when M said Keyblade, do you know how you spell that?
How you spell Keyblade? I'm assuming
M.
it's just key plus blade.
Oh boy.
You fool.
Oh,
You
sorry.
idiot. You absolute
Rookie
idiot.
mistake.
I should have known better.
The Keyblade is actually the Roman
The Greek.
Greek key, which is an X shape.
Oh, of course. If they
Yeah.
could jam another X in there, of course they would do it. I should have known.
So it's spelled like X Blade.
But it's not X-Blade, which is a different game.
Yes. So the Keyblade is the ultimate weapon that grants its wielder control of Kingdom Hearts. And the way to make the Keyblade is you need to have 13 darknesses, and they must clash with 7 pure lights. Alright? Because that's what the Keyblade broke into originally, and this was like 100 years ago. There was a big war about it. There's a mobile game that you could play if you really wanted to, where you're in that war. So the Keyblade, that's the goal here. And Xehanort is a time-traveling wizard, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All checks out so far.
Yep. He's made multiple copies of himself throughout time, and now they're all in the present, and they're trying to gather their 13 darknesses so that they can fight 7 pure lights, which Sora is one of, and he needs a group of friends to deal with that with him.
Are any of the friends Final Fantasy people?
No.
Damn
there
it.
is actually no Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts 3.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Throughout the
Squall
whole
isn't?
thing. Nope. None of them.
Cloud?
Nope.
Cloud.
Yuffie?
Cloud.
Nope. Well,
Isn't that the whole, like, point?
Yeah.
yeah. It was until this one.
Until the new one. Those
Yeah.
fuckers.
Yep.
YRP aren't there? They're not fairies? You can't fight Sephiroth?
Nope. There is no Sephiroth fight in this one.
What?
We'll get to that. Yeah. So that is the setup for this game.
So are the 13 the Organization 13? Are they the 13?
Also,
So-
an X in there. XIII.
Yep. XIII. The 13 is the new Organization 13.
No.
Yeah. There was an Organization 13. You will meet them when you play Chain of Memories. But there is now the real Organization 13.
Is that what they named themselves?
Yes, that is actually what they've called themselves.
Fuckers. Look, we made the jackets for Organization 13. We're using them. We're not making new jackets.
Put everyone's names on the back. It's very fancy.
Get the blood off of the old jackets and put them on. Cross out the names.
So they're basically like an international terrorist organization / bowling team? Is that what I'm
Yes.
hearing?
Right. Yep.
Okay. Got it. I'm glad I understand Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm. So, that is the lead up. I've cut out basically everything about all of the other games so far.
Good.
So in order to...
Does not Roxas. Does Riku still suck in this one? Still the worst?
it's hard to tell.
Okay.
Is he still handsome?
Oh,
He
cool.
is a strapping young lad.
Good.
Okay.
Now he is not as much of a shit as he was in other versions of him.
Good.
Yeah. So,
Okay. That
there
was
we
my
are.
only question.
okay. You will have more questions before the end of this. So, Yen Sid, the wizard,
It's Disney backwards.
With a
is
space.
Disney backwards.
Sure.
He begins to prepare the Keyblade wielders in order to fight the new Organization 13. Sora, in the game directly before this, which I believe was Dream Drop Distance, was almost taken over by Xehanort. He almost got Norted, which is where Xehanort makes your eyes yellow.
And mind controls you.
Yes, he does mind control you.
So he's a time traveling wizard with mind control.
Yes.
He seems pretty OP.
Yeah, a little bit. Seems like he has a lot going on. Probably shouldn't be worrying about, some little kid with a key sword. I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted just looking at this plot summary. All right. So Sora has to go to find the power of waking, which is the ability to restore lost hearts. A big deal in this game is your heart, which is not like your physical heart that flows blood through your body, but your light, your spiritual essence, more or less. And there are heartless, which are beings without hearts, which seek out light in hearts to consume. That's the basic.
Yes.
Yeah. Just say yes.
Yes, we understand. We are following you. There are heartless, there are nobodies. The nobodies are the husks left behind when a heartless takes the heart out of a person. And then Organization 13 are a bunch of, well, the original Organization 13. I don't know about these new suckers, but the old ones were all nobodies. They were all husks left behind. Yeah. But they were powerful people of strong wills, so their bodies got to stick around and do evil shit. Get up to evil.
You got it.
And they all had increasingly impractical weapons. Like one guy used a guitar for whatever reason.
It was a sitar. You get it right.
Oh,
he controlled water.
You're right. You're right.
There was a guy who used cards. He was my favorite.
There's a guy with infinite spears, I think. I liked him.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good choices. So, Sora goes off to find the power of waking. That is the plot of Kingdom Hearts 3.
I can't believe it's called the power of waking.
Yeah, he's got to wake stuff up. Wake up hearts.
I shouldn't expect anything from this game. Go ahead.
In the meantime, there is a lady called Aqua. If you've played Birth by Sleep, you would know her. She's one of the 3 protagonists.
Because you know how in BioShock there's always a man, there's always a city, there's always a lighthouse or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
There's always a lady, there's always a moody teen, and there's always a goofball in Kingdom Hearts.
Yep. She is the lady in the Wayfinder trio, because they all have little trinkets called Wayfinders. She is in the realm of darkness, because she went to try and save her friend, and then that didn't work out. So she got sucked into the realm of darkness and set off the course of all of these events by freeing her friend who was possessed. That's another whole thing. So, just know, a lady named Aqua, realm of darkness, that's where she's at.
There's three. There's Aqua, there's Terra, who's the Riku equivalent, and then there's Ventus, who is the Sora equivalent, because no one's names can be fucking Ted.
Yeah.
There's like a weird amount of Latin in these games.
Yeah.
Is it weird?
No, I mean, that's a fair point, Gino.
I mean, considering that the worlds don't have like a Greece, I guess there is Olympus.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. So, Riku and Mickey Mouse, who is a king.
And Yoda.
Mickey is the Yoda of this story. They are looking for Aqua in the realm of darkness. Sora is looking for the power of waking. He goes to a bunch of Disney worlds. Eventually, Sora sort of finds what he's looking for. Throughout, like, there are 7 worlds.
There are only 7 in this game?
Seems like there should be more, right? There's a lot more in 1 and 2.
Well, it just gives people space for the content they really want, which is gummy ships.
Yeah, right. The gummy ship is back.
Look, why would you want to run around these Disney worlds when you can spend so much time with people with X's in their names?
Yeah.
Who are clones of other people.
Yeah. Who also have X's in their names.
Okay, so you go through 7 worlds. Who care? Are the worlds just like Disney worlds?
The worlds are irrelevant.
And you play through the main plot line.
Frozen World.
One of them is Frozen. Frozen is one of the most uninspired worlds I've seen in any of the Kingdom Hearts games.
Dope.
Yeah.
Well, they got Josh Gad, so good on them.
I don't know
he
who that
plays
is.
Olaf.
Oh.
They got the actual guy.
Like him. Yeah, they also have Toy Story, but they couldn't get Tom Hanks.
But they got his brother.
They got his brother, yes.
What's Tom Hanks' brother's name?
Tim Hanks.
Tim Hanks.
I don't think
Is it actually?
No, I don't think it is.
It's Larry.
It was like
Larry
Pete
Hanks.
or something.
Oh, there's Larry Hanks and there's Jim Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
There are two.
Yeah, so
But,
they got a Hanks.
But also, worth noting, the voice of Mickey Mouse is not Mickey Mouse.
What?
It is something sort of alike, but not quite there in this game.
Great.
So it is very obvious. Throws a lot of people off.
Just to clarify, because this is the content our listeners come to this podcast for,
Mm-hmm.
Jim Hanks, the brother that does the voiceover.
I was close with Tim.
You were. You were very close.
Yeah. You got all but one letter.
So the 7 worlds, it's the same as the other games where you're just kind of walking through the plot of the game and it barely has any relevance, but then they like occasionally muse on hearts and friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh wow, Woody, you understand what friends are like. And then Sora's like, I miss my friends.
Yeah. Well, actually, the Toy Story world is probably the best take on like Kingdom Hearts version of one of the worlds. So I'll let people experience that for themselves. But that's one of the first worlds you go to. It is set right after the plot of the first movie, I think. So it's worth seeing that. But all the other worlds are basically, you go through the plot of the story. Characters say, oh, I couldn't have done it without you. And you're like, I watched a movie where you did it without Sora.
That is one of my central complaints with the Kingdom Hearts games, that they gave you all of the Disney movies, but then they created this character who's kind of a nothing character, who just one-ups all of the characters you actually care about.
Yeah.
He just shows up in their
characters.
stories.
Yeah. They're not main characters anymore.
Yeah, remember Captain Jack Sparrow, everyone's favorite character from the Pirates of the Caribbean? He's getting upstaged by a fucking 12-year-old.
Yep.
And Goofy and Donald.
The Pirates of the Caribbean world is a little uncanny. Good graphics, though.
How's Orlando Bloom?
I don't know if he has any actual speaking role in this one.
I guess, because this would be the first time that a Kingdom Hearts game has tried to use a live action.
This is the second. There was Pirates of the Caribbean in the second one. In 2.
Also, worth noting, in Dream Drop Distance, there was the live action Tron Legacy world.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, that was weird.
Was Daft Punk there?
I think there might have been. Yes, I want to say yes.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Best Kingdom Hearts game then.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that in 7 worlds, you don't go to Traverse Town, you don't go to Hallow Bastion / Radiant Garden, and all of the Final Fantasy characters are gone? They're not in this game at all.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. You cut out for a second there.
Do you mean to tell me that in this game, none of the Final Fantasy characters show up? There's no Hollow Bastion, there's no Traverse Town, there's no Radiant Garden. I'm not going to hang out with any of these characters. The whole point of Kingdom Hearts, as far as I was concerned, was mixing the peanut butter of Disney with the chocolate of Final Fantasy. And in the third game...
Chocolate? Is it chocolate?
Hopefully the last Kingdom Hearts game they ever fucking make, they didn't even put any of them in there.
There are 0 Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Fuck this game, man. Okay, so how does it play well?
Did the licensing deal run out? Like, what happened?
They own the license. This was made by Square. Those are theirs.
They could do that. I think, because one thing about this game is the development has been 10 years in the making.
Great.
They started basically directly after Kingdom Hearts 2. That came out in... Anyone got a guess?
2004?
2006.
6? Yeah.
That's close.
Yeah. So, 12 years in the making. And it was halted because of Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's always a good sign when your company has to stop production of one of your major titles to put out a fire in one of your other major titles that is also led by the same person.
Yeah. So Nomura went to work on Final Fantasy 15 and said that there would not be a Kingdom Hearts 3 until after 2012. And we see how that went.
Yeah, I mean, technically he was right.
Technically correct.
Yeah, the best kind of correct.
Yeah. So, finally came out 12 years after the fact. The game feels like it stopped for about 6 years in the middle there.
So does it feel like a game that should have come out 6 years ago? Like the design was just stunted?
Yes. Yeah, I would say that. The fact that a lot of the Disney movies are no longer, like, relevant. Like, you go to Tangled World, you go to Toy Story World, you go to Frozen. Pirates of the Caribbean 3? Have we thought about Pirates of the Caribbean 3 in, like, I don't know, 6 years? 5-6 years?
I try not to think about it ever.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about any of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Big Hero 6 in this one?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
that was the icing on the cake.
Ooh. I mean,
You
a
remember...
good movie, but 5 years old now.
Mm-hmm. Like...
It's 5 years old, oh no.
You could tell that they were like, oh yeah, we're really gonna, like, make this our next big franchise, Big Hero 6. And then, now it just seems a little, dated.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the same way that The Nightmare Before Christmas is super big in Japan, I would maybe Big Hero 6 is, with its, like, tons of Japanese-inspired characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's possible, but also it's, like, made from a comic that it sort of bastardized and didn't really do justice to the actual characters.
Don't you tell me that Kingdom Hearts took a thing that was bastardized and bastardized it even further. How dare you?
Right.
So how does it play?
It plays...
It looks like a mess.
It's a little bit of a mess. There are reaction commands like there were in 2. They have slimmed it down significantly. So in Kingdom Hearts 2, you could press triangle on the PlayStation controller, and that would like let you do a little action against certain enemies. So the big one was like Dusk's, the nobodies, the wiggly ones that you always see.
Yep.
You could like press triangle and you would spin around them and then hit them from behind.
I always liked the samurai guys too.
Mm-hmm.
You had to like react and hit the right button, and it was like an instant kill, basically.
Mm-hmm. You do like a cool one of those anime moves where you slash past them.
Mm-hmm. Always neat. A good one. That's how real sword fighting works, as far as I know.
Yeah. You just hit them once and they die.
Yep.
Rurouni Kenshin is history.
Yeah. Historically accurate. So, it plays okay, actually. I think the combat system was pretty well refined at this point, but one thing they kept in there was the triangle buttons. But in this case, you can use it to upgrade your Keyblade in the middle of battle. You can change it into another form, so you hit things with fists instead of a key.
Wait, what? Like you punch stuff?
Yeah, there's 2 that change into like the one from Monsters Inc. That becomes like fists and you punch.
I heard one becomes a gun.
Yes, one of them does become a gun. I believe that's which world is that? It doesn't matter. One of them becomes a gun.
So, are you telling me that this game is also Bleach?
Kinda, yeah.
Hey, look, let's not start bad-mouthing Bleach, all right?
No,
Let's save that for our Bleach special episode.
A lot of good fights in Bleach. That's all I'm saying.
I was listening to the Waypoint shows, and at one point Austin mentioned that Kingdom Hearts is just Naruto.
Yeah, it basically is.
And, Sora is Naruto, Sasuke is Riku, and then Sakura is Kairi.
Well, that is a pretty good mapping.
Except Sakura actually gets to talk.
Yeah.
Can we pause just for a brief second?
Yes.
And can we clarify the relationship between these 3? Like, is it a love triangle? Like, does it map the same way it maps onto Naruto?
They are childhood friends. They grew up on Destiny Islands together.
Right.
Yes.
But it seems like there's a romantic subtext, or am I just projecting?
No, you're on point.
Okay.
Sora and Riku both like Kairi. Kairi is a plank of wood, so...
So no one really knows what her deal is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
Yeah, but, Riku gets corrupted by the darkness, he even gets, possessed by the evil bad guy who also possesses people. It's Ansem's just Orochimaru.
Yeah.
He's got multiple bodies, even.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same, and now your sword can turn into different swords because it's also Bleach, because it's every shonen anime.
Yes. It is incredibly shonen, as the Waypoint people also addressed. I remember that part.
Yes.
Yeah. Where were we?
I don't remember.
You were starting to talk about the combat and
how
you can
combat.
change swords, and then there's summons, and
there's
then
summons,
you can summon Disney rides.
Yeah,
Disney rides.
Like Space
that
Mountain.
was yes. You can summon Space Mountain. You can only do that like twice. You can summon a carousel. You can summon the boat that like swings. There's a whole bunch of them. There's one that makes it like a shooting gallery, like you're in a little cart. That one pops up all the fucking time. I don't like it. It's just inconvenient, and it always
doesn't seem like a carousel would be combat effective either.
The carousel spins around real fast, and you can make it spin faster, and I guess enemies get dizzy, and that's what does damage.
Good.
Can you summon It's a Small World After All?
That is one of the missing components, unfortunately.
Enemies just get stuck in it until they just kill themselves.
Yeah, yep.
You can summon the teacups, though.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That's legit, right? I like the cups.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a log flume also.
Oh, yeah. That one is weird. You kind of like make a path, and then it goes in reverse once you make the whole thing, and does damage to things you pass by.
Is this like... So when I think Disney World, I don't really think rides. Like, the only Disney World rides I could name for you would probably be Space Mountain and Splash Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
They're there.
Yeah, like, who is encountering this Disney property and they're like, no, like, I play Kingdom Hearts to see the teacups.
Yeah.
Like, that's the Disney lore I'm interested in.
Brooke and Robin Lopez.
All right, that's actually a good get. That's a fair point.
It's those two. Every time I listen to a Bucks broadcast and they mention Brooks' house that he built in Disney World,
it's on the grounds. It's nuts.
For like $13 million, he got to go to the opening of China Disney World.
They love it.
They love it so much.
I don't know who these people are.
They're two NBA centers.
Players, yeah.
They're twins.
7-foot brothers.
That's why.
Two
Gotcha.
7-foot identical twin brothers who both love Disney World more than any of us love anything.
Oh, interesting. Sure, why not? They could be in the next Kingdom Hearts.
Man, I hope so.
I don't know why I never realized they were twins.
They're identical twins because Robin always has long hair and Brooke always has short hair.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, neither here nor there, though.
Okay, so the combat, how does it feel? Because it looks like chaos.
It is kind of chaotic. It is a lot of like jumping in the air to attack enemies and then doing an air combo. And then you land on the ground and you do another combo that sends them into the air and then you do the same thing. It's a lot of just hitting
Devil May
stuff.
Cry?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, it took a lot of cues from Devil May Cry.
How much do you run on the walls?
You run on the walls fairly frequently. Not so much combat on the walls. Comes up like once or twice. But fans of wall running will be in luck.
So just a question. The previous Kingdom Hearts games were kind of platformers in spots.
Yes.
Does the wall running invalidate that? Have they just accepted that they're a weird action game now?
Yes.
Good.
They've basically taken out the platforming stuff in favor of like wall running up large structures. The Big Hero 6 world specifically is a city, and so you're just wall running the whole time. You could also like grind on rails for fans of the Tony Hawk series.
God, they really just slammed as much as they possibly could into this, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't think I quite understood how much.
Mm-hmm.
How does it compare with Escape from the City from Sonic Adventure 2?
I have
when it
not
comes to grinding rails.
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably the same thing.
Okay,
I would imagine.
I don't think there's a lot of like variation in rail grinding mechanics.
Yeah.
They seem pretty straightforward.
All right.
Okay, so the fighting is a mess, but
the fighting is a
generally
mess.
Pleasant.
Sometimes it feels good. Sometimes, it's just hitting the same thing over and over again.
Is the AI for Donald and Goofy at least less terrible this time?
They do a little bit better.
Yay.
One thing that they actually figured out was you can have multiple characters in your party instead of just two. So in worlds like Toy Story, you have Donald, Goofy, Buzz, and Woody in your party at once. So you don't have to negotiate the two-party structure that they had in previous editions.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because, in previous editions, I would pretty much just ignore the Disney characters for the most part. Like, none of them were, particularly awesome such that I needed to have them in my party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in 2, they stopped you from using some of your, super forms.
Yeah,
if you didn't have, you do a fusion dance with Goofy, and then you get to dual-wield Keyblades, or you can do a fusion dance with Donald, and then your Keyblade flies. And then if you have both of them, you get flying 2 Keyblades.
Yeah.
And that meant that putting a third character in who was not one of those two just removed one of your super moves, and that seemed dumb. It always seemed dumb.
Yeah, it was always a negative. Also, those are not in the game anymore.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
those were the best part of 2.
Yeah, those were cool. There is an
Splash Mountain now. Thank goodness.
Yeah, there is an anti-form Sora. Now it's called Rage Form. That used to be like a punishment of going into those forms multiple times.
It's a punishment.
Now it's actually
kicked ass.
You turned into a Dark Sora who was way stronger.
Yeah. Now it's actually something you could just do when you get low on health, and then it's pretty good. So
is it in Bleach when he puts the mask on and goes really fast?
Yep.
But he's he's all creepy?
Pretty much exactly.
A Vizard.
Yep.
if we want to use the lingo.
I wouldn't have even known that term.
And then he can fuse. So he used to be able to fuse like Dragon Ball, but now he can't.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah. It does change the color of his outfit when you change your weapon, though.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Are his shoes still preposterously large?
They are a little bit more to scale now.
Boo!
I appreciate them moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Everything is a little bit more realistic in this one. His face is a little less anime because he's grown up and now he's not like a small anime boy.
So how many more iterations will it be until we get like a Prince of Persia 2 gritty reboot situation?
Well, like the Pirates of the Caribbean world, they have like a realistic Sora, so they could do it. Like when I was walking through that world, it felt like an Assassin's Creed game for a second. Ooh. Like I kept slipping into like that mode. So that was pretty cool. So they could do it. It's just they want the stylized aspect.
The Sora slit throats? Is that why it felt like an Assassin's Creed
I
game?
wish. Yeah.
That would have been a cool direction to take Kingdom Hearts 3.
It's a gritty Kingdom Hearts reboot where he's going around cutting people's heads off with the Keyblade.
This Keyblade's sharp.
Yeah.
He hits them with the sharp edge instead of the blunt edge.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess remaining big questions on the. Oh, what are the summons? Do you summon anything cool? I saw that you can summon the Pokemon from the Pokemon spin-off game.
What?
Aren't there like heartless friends that you can befriend in some sort of spin-off game?
The Dream Eaters. That's what they're called.
Who cares? They're Pokemon.
Yeah. you could summon those. You could summon. The one I always did was Simba. He does like a roar of fire and he can jump at things. You could summon Ariel. You could summon Wreck-It Ralph, who I never could understand what his thing did, so I never used him. He like makes blocks and then he destroys the blocks. But
accurate.
I don't know why you would do like a two-step thing where you could just summon Simba and set things on fire. So, but the summons are all like extra. Just more stuff.
You don't summon Bahamut?
No. There are no Final Fantasies. No more Final Fantasies. We've outlawed them.
They don't... Does he even have a Keyblade that's like...
Oh, actually...
A Final Fantasy Keyblade?
There is one Final Fantasy-esque element in the Toy Story world. I'm going to spoil a little bit here. There is a video game that Rex plays, and you go to the mall, and there's a game store in there, and he like is looking for strategy guides because he has to beat Bahamut. And so they had like a trailer in the beginning of the world, and it was kind of like a Final Fantasy 15 spin-off thing. It was pretty cool, actually. And then you get thrown into the game, and you do a little thing there, but it doesn't actually translate. So there's your Final Fantasy.
So they made a parody Final Fantasy game in this game?
Basically.
Those monsters. Are Moogles in it at least?
Moogles show up only in the like crafting thing.
Good, fine.
Yeah, they just send you off to take pictures of stuff. Oh, you could take pictures of stuff.
Yeah, you have to take a ton of pictures of stuff.
Yeah, you have a bunch of... If you want to make crafting stuff, which you don't have to complete the game, you just go around taking pictures of your friends, and you can also take pictures of lucky emblems, which are the shape of Mickey Mouse's head. Those are also extra. If you want the secret ending, you do that.
So, does the story... I understand that they have devoted a good amount of time to the people with the X's in their names,
mm-hmm.
and all of the anime bullshit that has just saturated this series.
Yeah.
Is it at least satisfying? Do they wrap that up?
So let's talk about the conclusion. Basically, you go through the 7 Disney worlds, and then at the end, you have the power of waking, which means you can restore lost hearts. So you can go into the realm of darkness and find Aqua, who knows where Ventus is. Ventus is her friend. He is in a coma. Sora has his heart in his heart. It's a whole thing. So, spoilers, by the way. This is going to be spoilers. I'm going to spoil the whole thing.
Yeah, because come on.
You go and you get Ventus, and his evil twin is there, and he tries to fight you, and you fend him off.
He has an evil twin?
He has an evil twin.
And it's not Sora or Roxas.
It is not either of them. It is Vanitas.
Vanitas.
Yes. He is one of the organization new members. So once you do that, you have all the people. You've got 7 light, and they've got 13 darknesses.
Who are the 7?
So it's Sora, Riku, Mickey, Aqua, Ventus. What am I at? Sora.
You're at 5. Cloud?
5. No. Axel, and Kyrie.
Okay.
I think Kyrie counts.
Does she get to talk?
No.
Does she fight?
She hits one thing.
Okay. Yeah. That's more than she's ever done before.
Every game she gets to hit one thing. She has a Keyblade. I guess she's seen fighting in the background once. So you go to the Keyblade graveyard and...
Wait, who are the 13 that you're fighting?
So
I want you to pronounce them correctly.
All right, I'll do all of them. All right, keep count.
I got it.
Xehanort.
Yep.
Ansem. Xemnas.
Wait, which Ansem?
Heartless Ansem.
Okay. Wait, he's back?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Xemnas.
Xemnas. Young Xehanort.
So 4 of them are the same person?
There might be more who are the same person.
Okay, keep going.
I'll go through the organization members. Larxene, Marluxia, Luxord.
Fuck.
Yeah. Fuck.
You're at 7.
Zigbar.
You can just start saying random syllables. Like, yeah, sure. Him too, right?
I'm going to have a stroke if I keep trying to pronounce these names. Just know that there's 13 of them.
Close
it's
enough.
not important.
You're at 8. You're so close.
Vanitas. Fuck. Damn it.
Sephiroth.
Oh, Xion. Xion is there.
Xion's bad?
Xion's being used still, basically.
No,
yeah.
Okay, you're at 10. You got 3 more now, apparently.
Saix.
there?
Saix. Yes, Terra is there.
Is he evil? Is he one of them?
Yeah.
That's 12.
Another one.
That's 12.
And I don't know.
Is it a last Organization 13 member? Probably.
Probably.
Hey, close enough. 12's better than I would have had.
I think they wanted Sora to be the 13th one.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I remember that was the thing, and then they didn't get him, so they had to do a different plan. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Good enough.
I tried.
So what happens? You go to fight him.
They fight.
Riku's replica. Riku's replica is also there. He is the 13th. That is all of them. Never ask me to do this again.
None of those make any sense.
Okay. So
there's no fewer than like 6 versions of Xehanort that make up this 13.
6 Xehanorts, yes. And the plan is to separate his heart into all of them, so they all become him. That's the idea that he had. I don't know why. I don't think he ever explains why that is the route he chooses. Okay.
So he Norts them. He Norts them all.
He Norts them all. They all get yellow eyes. That's about it. And then you fight all of them. Every single one in, like, order. You fight them 3 at a time, starting with, like, the nobodies, and then you fight the Xehanorts, and then you fight the other Xehanorts, and then you fight Terra and
Riku Clone.
Fight Riku Clone, you fight Shion. That's like one of them. They all get a death scene. Everyone gets a death scene.
God, sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. So you go through that. You go through the whole fight with everybody, and then Xehanort's left. And then you're, like, right about to fight him. That's not even the part when you go and you die.
Oh, you die again?
At one point you die, and you have to go back and save all your friends from their hearts being lost, and then you go back into the present, and then you don't die in that part, and then he fights all of them.
So it's like Chrono Trigger?
Basically Chrono Trigger, right? Yes.
Great.
Yeah. There's a little cat thing in the realm of the dead, because I guess he's the Reaper. So Xehanort, yeah, I guess. Xehanort kills Kairi.
No.
What?
Xehanort
Not
kills
Kairi.
Kairi. The only person who he, like, shatters on screen after she hit her one thing, and then...
Not the game's only female character that matters.
Yeah, right? She didn't even, like... She gets one scene, maybe 2. So I was pissed about that.
It's okay, she's not going to be dead for long. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So Sora fights Xehanort, and that lets him acquire the Keyblade. The Keyblade and summon Kingdom Hearts. So then the game ends and you die, and that's the whole thing.
So Kairi's still dead when the game ends?
No.
Okay.
Xehanort summons Kingdom Hearts. Sora, Donald, and Goofy take him to a place from his childhood, and they defeat him, and then all the Keyblade wielders come through the portal that they opened, and then his, like, Xehanort's childhood friend, who was the master of Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, is there, and he, like, convinces him to give up. And then they leave together.
What?
And then he convinces him to give up, and he does. And then they leave to go into Kingdom Hearts together.
That's it? He just needed, like, a strong talking to?
Yeah, yep.
He possessed
Brutal.
so many people and time traveled so much.
He possessed so many people. He time traveled to himself multiple times. He brought so many of him into the present and then he just gave up. So
Awesome.
Okay.
that's the end of the game. And then Kairi's still dead. So Sora is like, well, the adventure started with me trying to go and get Kairi. So I guess I will go and try to get Kairi again. Sora promises to come back, and everyone's like, her heart is lost, and if you use the power of waking to revive Kairi, you might die. And he's like, whatever.
Tough one, bro.
Yeah, and then everyone, the two nobodies, Roxas, Naminé, Shion, they all get bodies. They are there. The three of the Wayfinder trio are there because Terra gets unnorted. Axel and Sykes. Sykes is, I guess, not a bastard anymore. Everyone gets their little moment, and then at the very end, Kairi is there on a tree that they were in the very beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1, and they're chilling, and she touches Sora's hand,
Ooh,
and Sora disappears.
saucy.
Sora fades away. And that's
What?
the game. Sora fades away. I guess he's dead.
Physically exhausted by this.
I am. I had to play this for
This is excruciating.
How long was this?
35 hours.
My God.
Okay, so...
And it felt relatively short compared to the other Kingdom Hearts as well.
Okay.
Well, only 7 worlds, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so... I feel like, on the one hand, what are we going to talk about with Chain of Memories? Because this is... I feel like we've covered it. I don't know that we need to play Chain of Memories anymore.
Chain of Memories is a whole nother animal. I've got a Chain of Memories section in my little write-up here. I was preparing the brief summary that turned into a
lengthy summary.
Long summary. There's a lot going on in Chain of Memories. None of it matters in the long run, though.
Of course it doesn't, because they want to sell the big games, not the spin-offs.
Yep.
I just...
Still gonna play it.
Fine, okay, we can still play it.
I already started it.
Okay, good. So, my question is...
Why?
Why any of this?
Why any of this? Good question.
Did you... So, normally, if you're going to have a large storyline with all of these conceits, mind control, time travel, all these conceits, once you go down that path, you need to have a payoff, right?
Yeah.
You need a reason. There needs to be a large message, because if you're going to use that many tropes, you want there to be something at the end of it that's meaningful, that makes you feel things, or teaches you something.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a better person after having played this game? Do you feel like you learned, you grew?
I feel like early on in 3, it looked like they were heading in that direction. Like a lot of the plot points that they had set down in earlier games were addressed. And it felt like it was going to have that that final payoff that we were all hoping for. But I think with a game that was trying to encapsulate this scope, they so wildly overreached with introducing the time travel, the mind control, if it was just like the darkness is bad, we're going to beat the darkness, we have friends with light, we're going to do that. I think it would have
would have gone more smoothly at the very least.
It would have gone so much more smoothly. And then they didn't, and they went the infinite storylines converging.
Think about how many more games they were able to sell you.
Oh, yeah.
By creating all of this garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't really...
those games.
Mission accomplished. It doesn't seem like they ever understood what made Kingdom Hearts popular in the first place.
It was so simple in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
It was just, we're going to go around to Disney Worlds. There's some darkness. We're going to deal with that. Because we have the power of light. That was all they had to do. Like, if they just kept that message like going through the whole thing, which they kind of did, but it just got wildly out of scope.
I can't help but feel like this series had such a simple mandate.
Mm-hmm.
Take the Square stuff, take the Disney stuff, put them together.
Mm-hmm.
All they had to do, like, there are some scenes where I say this every time we discuss this fucking series. Like, Hercules World, in the first game, Cloud's there because someone he loves is dead, and he wants to get her back. And there's an underworld in Hades, in Olympus.
Mm-hmm.
So he's there to get her back.
I don't think.
What?
I don't think that's how it went.
Well, that's not how it goes.
I think he came to.
He wants the power from Hades, and he's fighting Hercules. But at the end of the game, he wants to beat Eris, and he meets her in the final cutscene. So he wants to be more powerful.
Is that true?
He wasn't strong enough, right?
I thought it was he wanted to beat Sephiroth, and so he needed the power of darkness from Hades. It was like, yeah, I could do that, and then he didn't.
Yeah, even that's a good reason too.
Mm-hmm.
But like, or Auron in Kingdom Hearts 2, like he's dead in Final Fantasy X, so they brought him back from the underworld because he's a badass, and they need him to do stuff.
It was a nice little connection there.
Yeah, they took things that don't exist in Final Fantasy games, and they used the Disney stuff to marry them together in intelligent ways. And they do that in no other part of any of these fucking games. They do it in 2 worlds in 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
How hard would it be to put Vivi in
They do.
Halloween Town?
They put Vivi in
Twilight Town.
Twilight Town.
I know, but
Could have been.
they have like 3 worlds that are where all the Final Fantasy people live.
Yeah.
Like, just put him in. He looks like Halloween Town people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was like licensing questions that came up with that, like, oh, you can't mess with our Halloween Town aesthetic with Final Fantasy stuff.
They put people, nobodies and heartless, and those people were allowed in that garbage.
I think
they crapped it up with different crap.
Yeah, like Gino, your point's well founded, and I think what happened. If I had to guess what happened, my thought is like, all right, who's the guy again? Who's the dude?
Tetsuya Nomura.
So my guess is he looked at this and he was like, no, I'm not willing to just sort of repackage Disney characters, even if it will mean people will buy it.
But they do that every game.
I know, but I'm saying
everywhere.
He said, I want to make a new, compelling, wild, outlandish story. So we cut all the Final Fantasy. You just multiply people until you could finally like look at himself in the mirror and be like, yes, I'm the auteur of this world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was a mistake from start to finish.
He managed to eclipse all of the properties with his own garbage and make all of the properties either subservient to his vision or irrelevant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He burned it all down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now he gets to stand on the ashes.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. It's so simple. Like they had 13 games to crisscross. Like it. I can't be the only person who's like, oh well, there's a character in Final Fantasy VI who's a boy who lives in the woods, who hangs out with monsters. Maybe he should be in Tarzan World.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there's a character who's exactly like that. Oh, there's twins that are, sisters in Frozen World. Hey, there's characters in Final Fantasy VI, Sabin and Edgar. They're also royalty, and one of them also kind of abandons his lot in life. Just have them meet. Hey, there's a character who cross-dresses in Final Fantasy V to be a pirate because she doesn't, trust, because she wants to be taken seriously in a man's world. Maybe she could be in Mulan World. These aren't hard. But they made it all about Sora and his fucking friends. And people with X's in their names. And it's such a simple fucking story.
Yeah. Hey, look. This is what happened, and now we have chaos.
Yep.
Now we're going to play more of it.
And now we're going to play more of it. We're going to go right into the middle of it, where it all went wrong.
We're going to go to the scene of the crime.
Yep.
Nice.
So, are there any final thoughts you have on this game? Because it upset you so.
Oh, I've just... One thing I cannot excuse is what they did to Kyrie, because this was supposed to be like her time to actually become a character. On top of all of the other atrocities that they've committed along the way, having her like show up just to like murk her right there at the end was just monstrous. It was like rubbing your face in it, basically. The whole game is just it went down such a dark path. Just overall, I'm beside myself. And I don't know. I didn't really hate it. I hate it, but it's like I kind of expected this.
Well, when you invest 15 years...
Yeah.
Or almost 20... When did the original Kingdom Hearts come out? 2001?
I want to say 2000 and... Let's find out. Let's go to the wiki. Kingdom Hearts 1 came out in 2002.
So 2002. So 17 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
How can you hate it?
Yeah.
You've invested so much of your life in it.
So much time, so much energy.
And it will never love you back.
Yeah. Hey, before we wrap up, you guys wanted to do some trivia, right?
Yes, please. Quick trivia.
I prepared a series of trivia. All right. I'm just going to go right into it. We're going to rapid fire this. Pete, you played these games, right?
I played 1 and 2.
Okay, so you might know some of the answers.
I
Gino,
doubt it, but let's
have you
find
played?
out.
Have you played
I've
any?
been listening to the Waypoint podcast.
Okay, so you might know some of these answers. All right, so Organization 13 has 14 members. True or false?
Pete,
I assume it's true. Why would he ask otherwise?
I'm going to say true.
Okay, it is true. For an organization called 13, it does have one extra member. That is Xion. Riku's magic powers include sense of smell. True or false?
Sense of smell, like an extra good sense of smell, or just
Yes.
sense of smell?
Yes.
I want the answer to be true.
It is true.
It is true?
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't know that one.
Yeah. He can smell darkness on people because he is touched by the darkness. All right. Xion, the 14th member of Organization 13, looks different to different people. True or false?
I don't even remember who Xion is.
She's the one from 358 over 2 days. She is the dark-haired girl that is friends with Roxas.
I'm going to say true.
That is true, because...
I tried to spell Xion. I spelled with an SH, like an idiot.
Nope.
Clearly it's spelled with an S.
Rookie mistake. All right. The Nobody's Cloak has special powers.
Sure. Yeah, I have no idea.
That's true. It lets you travel through the dark paths.
Yes, you got it. How'd you know that?
Killing me,
I've
Gino.
listened to this podcast.
Yeah.
Killing me.
All right.
I didn't know about the smell, though.
Yeah. Riku can spell. He's really good at it. All right. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse loses his shirt in one point while in the realm of darkness. That's just a fact. I'm just gonna give you that one.
Now I have to Google shirtless Mickey Mouse.
Yep.
Is he hot underneath there?
I'll leave that for you to decide.
I shouldn't have Googled shirtless Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse is the Keyblade wielder of the Realm of Darkness. True or false?
True. His gold Keyblade, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Got one.
Yep. Organization 13 Zigbar is actually from the past. True or false?
That was Zigbar.
True, and his original form is Brigand?
Brag.
Brag.
Yeah.
This one I actually spelled it right. I knew it was an X this time.
You got it. But he is actually even older than that. He is one of the characters from Union Cross, which is the mobile game, which happens 100 years before the events of Kingdom Hearts 1. He is also a time traveler.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Keyblades can be turned into spaceships. True or false?
Is that where the gummy ships come from?
Nope.
False?
That one's true.
I mean, they've all been true so far, so I don't know why I would say false.
Yeah, spoilers. All of these are true. I cannot make up shit that is more ridiculous than what actually happens in this game.
How does the Keyblade turn into a spaceship?
Aqua, Terra, and Ventus can turn their Keyblades into a thing called the Key Glider? Keyblade Glider?
Called Voltron.
Yeah. They turn their Keyblades into little ships they glide around on. Yeah.
Sure.
Are they shaped like lions?
They're shaped like keys, but bigger.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Fuck. The X in nobody's names is a mark that lets Xemnas track them. That's true. All of these are true. Donald
Wait,
was yeah.
How? The X in their name lets...
The X is called the Recusant's Sigil. Xemnas adds it to their names, and he can track a person's location once that they have been marked with it.
Wonderful. I'm glad there's a reason for all the X's now.
Yeah.
I've been pacified.
Donald was originally supposed to be the main character of this game. The whole series, Tetsu Nomura made Sora to be the main character. Axel is present. Axel went to Castle Oblivion to find Ventus. True or false?
Always true.
Always true. It's true. Xemnas sent Axel to Castle Oblivion because Aqua put Ventus in Castle Oblivion and then made it Castle Oblivion. And the last one, Sora had, at max, 5 hearts in his heart.
Seriously? At one point, Sora had 5 hearts in his heart? I knew he had 2.
He had himself, Ventus, Roxas, Xion, and at one point, Kairi was in there too.
Wait, I thought Roxas was a Heartless, though.
Yeah, but his heart was in Sora's
body.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
the rules are meaningless.
Yeah.
Nothing means anything.
Nothing matters.
He had more hearts than cows have stomachs.
Yep. Sora had so many hearts in his heart, it was like a boarding house in there. So that's Kingdom Hearts 3.
A masterpiece if ever there was one.
Oh, yeah. One of these days, I'm going to put this, the last finishing touches on this timeline, and then I'll burn it.
We'll just leave you at the year-end podcast, and we'll just say, okay, now read them your manuscript.
Yeah. You know when ZP sends us emails with the Atari timeline?
Namco timeline.
Namco timeline, yes. It's going to be one of those. I'm just going to mail you parts. I'm so tired.
You did good. That was tough work.
Thank you
for shepherding us through this nonsense.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing me along and cursing me with even more Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. And thank you, listeners.
Yeah. Thank you for sticking by us through all this capricious nonsense.
If you have a different opinion on Kingdom Hearts than we do, feel free to write in. You're wrong, but write in anyway.
Yeah. We'd love to hear it.
We'd love to hear it, and if we don't like what we hear, we won't read it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've been warned. So, if you want to get in touch with the show, at Deep Listens Pod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We've got our comment sections, and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. Thank you, Em.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Happy to be along for the ride on this one.
Thank you, listeners, for burning with us. Until next time, peace.